So I'm out here in the garage. It's a hurricane. I think we're gonna be fine here. It's Friday morning. There's some wind and a little bit of rain, but we're far enough away. The hurricane sort of stayed off the coast. I just wish the news would stop sensationalizing it. Like, it's almost like they're hoping that there was some damage and carnage and whatever. Just say, you know, it's not really that bad. It kind of, I know on the coast they're getting 100-mile-an-hour winds, but we're getting not a whole heck of a lot, and we're not through the whole thing yet. It's Friday morning, but anyway, I'm out here in the garage. I'm safe. There's no issue with me hanging out here today. So, as you can see, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I started tearing apart the M3. I've been so wishy-washy on this lately about what should I do. Should I modify it? Should I change the modifications of the M3? Should I sort of reinvigorate my semi-like for it? And I think I've come up with the solution, and I just need to part ways with this car. I love the way it looks. It's a great daily driver. I just never, in the morning when I wake up and I'm like, all right, which car am I going to take? I just never want to take it. And I know a lot of you guys that follow this stuff have M3s, and I'm not bashing the M3 at all. I mean, this is a great car. It's just not inspiring for me. I have certain likes, just like we all do. Some people like different colors. Everybody has a personal preference, and this car just, I want to love it so much. I find myself hoping that I would like it more. It's just like I said, it's just not for me. The sound is the biggest problem. I just really don't like how it sounds. And I think that's the biggest thing. Even though it's super fast, it's not fun to drive. For me. But I get that the M cars, I'm not saying that I'll never own another one of these again. Maybe if I'm in a I hate to say this, but even in a sort of a better financial position where I just had infinite funds, I would buy another one of these probably. It's just the biggest disappointment with this car is the exhaust note and the way it sounds. It's just not good. Some people like it. I have a hard time identifying with those people. I think that they're tricking themselves, or maybe they just haven't had another car that does sound good. So anyway, the plan was to do stage, I call it version 3.0, and I was going to do different wheels and sort of soften up the suspension a little bit. The JRZ is kind of harsh. Maybe get rid of the certainly get rid of the Advan 808Rs. By the way, I'm just using fishing line and sort of working my way down this spoiler, because I'm going to take this off and sell it and put the factory one back on. So I was going to do Dynon suspension, Dynon stage 3, and just sort of continue to deal with the sound of the car. Some of the newer exhaust, the BMS exhaust and the active exhaust are interesting, but they still just putting a Band-Aid on something that I don't enjoy. I've been shopping the Mustang GT350 for a while. I've never, ever in a million years thought I'd be a Mustang guy. In fact, I've joked to say, and no offense to you Mustang guys, just not my style. I want to buy one just to sort of, if I'm rich and famous someday, to start up and rev in the garage and then turn it off. But the GT350 was interesting to me because it's from everything I've read and everything that I've come across, it's a true sort of driver's car. It's a car that really can do all-purpose duty. Because really what I want is sort of a daily driver. I don't want something that's so aggressive that I'm not going to want to get in it and drive it every day. And so when they released sort of information, I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. I think that car might be one that I would be interested in. Price versus performance. I think that they've sort of improved. I'm not really an interior guy anyway. I just don't want it to be like Corvette interiors are so bad that I just can't handle it. But I like minimalist. I don't want all the stuff. I would rather have nav and not have nav and all that other stuff. So anyway, you take the fishing line and just sort of work it off here. I have to get more fishing line out. It's still sticking. It's a thing is super light BMW carbon rear spoiler, which I'm sure somebody will want to buy. Get me some money back from the car. Anyway, the GT350 is something that I've been interested in since it came out. Said I'd like to get one someday. It sort of takes the best of both worlds, that sort of track-oriented or handling-oriented. I know I'm not a track guy, but that handling-oriented sort of sports car feel combined with all the good parts of a American V8 was just really, really interesting to me. And so when I was in Atlanta, my buddy Sean is like, listen, I was able to spend a day in one. The dealer sort of gave me one to drive around, and it was incredible. I know it's going to sound exactly like I want it to sound. So naturally, a smart person would go and test drive it. I've never test driven any of my cars. I just sort of know. And even though I hadn't test driven the M3 because it was brand new, and even though I'm getting rid of it now, I remember I had it for 2.5 years, which is a long time for me. And it's been fun. It's been great. And so part of it is the sound, which I'd be willing to deal with if it was new. And the other part of it is I'm just sort of ready to do something different. And it doesn't get any more different for me than a Mustang. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm picking up an Avalanche Gray, which is sort of very similar to that sort of Audi Suzuka Gray. I'm picking that up in Tallahassee on probably Wednesday. I've got to get this car put back together before I head up there. And I'm using Auto Finesse Obliterate just to sort of work on this. This won't take too long. Took us like 45 minutes to get all this junk off. So if you're into modifying cars like I am, and you turn them over occasionally or regularly like I do, then the smart thing to do is you keep all your factory parts, whether you install them or not, and then you can revert the car right back to stock when it's time to sell. One, because the dealer doesn't want a modified car. They would rather have it stock. So why give all that awesome stuff to somebody that doesn't really want it? I'm going to wash the car after this is all done anyway, so. Well, like I was saying, you can recover, even if it's 25%, it's still better to do it, or you get some of your money back that you invested in it. So then I'll just use that to put back into the other car. So I sold the M3 for 50 grand. That's 20,000 miles. I bought the GT350 for 61, which is a little less than 1,000 over sticker. You know, they were jerking me around on that. I said, look, I'm not paying $5,000 over sticker. That's insane. So, you know, my car's probably worth 52 or 53 on trade, but I just don't want to hassle with it. I know some of you guys are all about the deal. I don't have time and energy for that. Not that a couple grand doesn't make a difference, it does, but. All right, so I'm gonna grab the LHR 15 Mark II and just polish this thing off, just to get the rest of the sort of line out of the paint. So I'm gonna use some Scholl's and just polish this out. The wind's starting to get a little nasty, so I might put the camera away. I want the thing to blow over. We're probably getting 40, 50 mile an hour gusts now. Maybe I can make a viral video polishing my car in a hurricane. Let's prime the pad. I need to go put this in a smaller container. It's probably a little much. This thing is so powerful, it's amazing. So I'm just sort of doing a quick perfect finish. I'm gonna see about putting the factory spoiler back on. We'll see. I kind of like it without it. I think it looks clean. So I'm just doing perfect finish, just with a yellow pad, just to finish out the paint. The BMW paint is super hard, so this paint is anyway. So using a yellow pad I find to be a little more effective. White, who knows what I'm doing. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. It just seems like the right thing to do. Maybe I've become sort of jaded by dealing with BMW and Porsche, but Ford, it's like they're stuck in 1992, sort of doing deals. I'm counting the days until the factory sort of dealer system gets blown up because it's junk. I hate it. I just want to buy direct. You know, I'm all for supporting, you know, local businesses and supporting people, you know, and because shoot, I'm in a service-related industry, but man, they make it so hard to give you their money or give them my money. And I'm sorry to complain, it's just frustrating. But, you know, I'd encourage you young guys, although nobody else is going to do this, you know, any used car you're going to buy, no one's going to, one, they're not going to know how to do this. But I've always sort of just paid it forward, do the right thing, and make sure the car is clean, dialed in, there's no errors, there's no issues, there's no check engine lights, there's none of that sort of hidden stuff. I've always made sure to sort of just take the car in and drop it off, and it's almost always better than the car that I'm buying. But then, you know, I'll go and dial in the car. I mean, maybe that's sort of taking advantage of myself, you know, dealers taking advantage of me, but, you know, I just feel like there's a right way to do things and a wrong way. So I'm just going to put a quick coat of Colinite on here. That's what's on the rest of the car. I'm not really worried about putting, because they're going to slop some crap on it, I'm sure, wherever this car ends up. I'm not worried about putting any multiple layers of sealant and wax. It really doesn't matter if it's Ford or BMW or whomever. They all tend to be, just doing it as a job, just like most people in life. Just do their job as a job. Or most of us obsessed garage guys, we do things for the passion. We do things right. But it's frustrating when you have to interact with others that are just doing something for a paycheck. Oh, I guess I should have done eraser before that, but Colonite is pretty resilient. Sweet. So it took me about 10 minutes instead of 2 hours. So now I'll just 3M tape it and reinstall it. And just kind of clean up a little bit of the edges. All right, I didn't intend this to be a lip install video, but now that we're here, we might as well keep rolling. Just gonna wipe this down with alcohol. Hope that I don't get blown away. There goes my frickin' paper towels. It's just to make sure it sticks. I'll do the same thing with the car.
How are you surviving?
The wind's gonna get me? Just gotta keep it in the channel so that the lip won't stick up. And what I'll do is cut that. Go. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever done a spoiler like this. I've done front lips on cars, but not a spoiler, deck spoiler. Nope, that's gonna work just fine. Crap, I think I'm getting sick. All right, here goes. Get one shot. It's pretty easy. There we go. I'm glad I did that. We're on. Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.